He loves art. He loves artists. He loves photography. Kumi, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the room because you keep making a lot of... I'm just kidding. Didn't want to follow trends. You know, I naturally, instinctively wanted my work to look different and to stand out. That was just something that was inside of me. Even going back to drawing in kindergarten, I remember kids were drawing in a certain way, like they were scribbling and then coloring in all the little closed-in spaces of the different colors. And I went and drew the post office across the street. Like I sat in the window and like do this like realistic, like drawing of the post office, because I just didn't want to do what everybody else was doing, and that stayed with me my whole life. My dad drove 2 days from New York to Winston-Salem, and by the time we got here, I really wanted to be going to the school. In this hallway right outside the door here, you know, we laid out all of our drawings and paintings. There were several other students with their parents, and everybody had their portfolios kind of laid out on the floor. And Clyde, who was the arts dean, you know, he was like this really cool, ultimate 70s dude. He was tall and skinny with an Izod shirt with the collar turned up. And he's like looking at our work, and he's really like poker faced, checking out everybody's portfolios. But I could tell he kind of liked mine. So at that moment, I knew I was going to get in, and I was so excited. I really wanted to be here. And I would wake up every morning just be like, I knew I was in the best place I could possibly be. The 1 year I had here as a senior, he accepted me as a senior. It was amazing. And I'm not looking back nostalgically saying that. I knew it at the time. I knew that I was in a really special place and the best place I could possibly be. And then halfway through the year, we learned photography, which I was always a little scared of. I love photography. I had photography books and Richard Avedon and Helmut Newton, but I thought photography was gonna be very technical and like science and math, you know, the numbers on cameras and stuff. I just thought I would never be good at that because it seemed to be very, very technical. But actually, you know, analog photography is very intuitive. We got cameras that day, Nikon FM2s, and we left the building. And I have that first contact sheet, and it's like kind of the typical things you'd see a high school taking photographs of, you know, the shadows hitting the stairs outside, and, you know, a crack in the brick wall. I don't know. This is a picture of Andy Warhol that I did. It was the last photo taken before he died. And so I was working at MTV Magazine at the time, and I got this chance to photograph Andy, and I went to his office and I rearranged the book so that these two Bibles have been on the side of his head, because I knew that he went to church every Sunday. And that's something at the time people didn't really know about Andy. At the time, MTV Magazine was the most important popular culture magazine in the world. And to work there was my dream, and to work for Andy, he was my favorite artist. So it was a really incredible time. Thank you. Oh, Elton John. We just finished doing an album cover with him a few weeks ago, and he's still working and putting out. It's been a 25-year relationship, working with him, doing stage shows, doing album covers, videos. It's been really fun. It's been amazing. He was one of my heroes as a kid. Like growing up in elementary school, he was just always on the radio. You know, his music was always in the top 10. So I grew up listening to these amazing songs. And so it was a dream to work with him. And we got along really well, became very good friends. And, you know, we're still working together today. And it's just been a really fun trip. This is my friend, Amanda Lepore. And working for Andy, of course, I loved Andy's work, and one of my favorite pieces of Andy, I think, of all time is the Marilyn and the Liz series. Could never afford a Marilyn silkscreen, so I was with my friend Amanda Lepore, and I said, let's recreate that in the photographs because I want that on my wall. And it was just an homage to Andy's painting of Marilyn. Tupac Shakur, Tupac had just gotten out of jail when we did this photograph. So when he got out of prison, he had only been out less than 24 hours when we were doing this photo shoot. And we just hit it off. He also went to an art school when he was a kid. He was really an artist. This is House at the End of the World. This image was for Italian Vogue. It was a fashion image. So Victor and Rolf made this dress. It was like a pillow on her head. I snuck onto the back lot of War of the Worlds. So this was a part of the set that they had built at I think it was Universal, Paramount, I can't remember, but destroyed houses from tornadoes and hurricanes and all this. And you see these events happening today, and they're already starting 20 years ago, and even before. But it's only gotten, the magnitude of these storms getting worse and worse every year, as we've seen here in North Carolina. Sometimes, we have all different sides to life and our characters and our personalities. And sometimes I want to do something that's very light and humorous and, just for some levity, because I'm feeling that way and I'm happy and I'm expressing myself that way. And other times I'm like, really thinking a lot about climate change. So I wanted to do pictures that reflected what was in my mind at that time. And, you change over the years and you're not thinking about the same things all the time. And just as long for myself, as if I'm honest with what I'm doing and what I'm thinking about and what I want to share with other people, it'll always be different and always be evolving and changing. So this series, they call them landscapes. It's not, this isn't a criticism. It's sort of like, it's not meant to be. It's just sort of this idea of like, I was in Maui, I was thinking, I just saw this little temple, this little glowing temple in the woods, and it was like a gas station. And it's sort of like the world after man, and the world, the forest has regrown and kind of retaken over what we've left behind. And these sort of, these little glowing temples. So yeah, the school is very well-rounded in that we did not just get a visual arts education, we got an education in art, period. And the art history teacher we had was incredible. It really taught me the importance of art history. And that's what I tell most times when I'm lecturing or giving lectures at a school or something. I always tell the kids, study art history. That was really valuable. And yeah, it was really a magical year.